While I was researching the previous video, I came up with a thought. What if Skyrim remained divided? It isn't like we haven't seen this before. East and West Skyrim split apart in 431 of the Second Era when High King Logrif was assassinated. Even during the Alliance War, East Skyrim under Jerome the Skald King joined the Ebonheart Pact in 572 of the Second Era, while West Skyrim remained neutral in the whole affair. West Skyrim at this time consisted of Falkreath, Whiterun, Hjalmark, and Hafengar. The Reach itself was its own kingdom with Manamarco at its head. West and East Skyrim would both then later dissolve sometime during the Tiber Wars. It's unknown if they got conquered by Tiber Septim or simply submitted to them, but submitted to him, I should say. But regardless of which, we see in 201 of the Fourth Era, Skyrim is once again divided. This time with the Pale, the Rift, Winterhold, and Eastmarch forming the Stormcloaks, and the Empire holding the Reach, Falkreath, Hjalmark, and Hafengar. The only difference is now they hold the Reach. We know that Whiterun, if pushed, will eventually side with the Empire as well, and that will make 5 holds for the Empire, 4 for Stormcloaks. So, for this concept, the Dragonborn will not interfere with the Civil War, obviously since the player controls them. And this is exactly where this theory, or this whole concept, will start to play. So, Ulfric will commence his attack on Whiterun regardless. With Imperial troops garrisoned at Whiterun, a bloody stalemate will turn in favor of the Stormcloaks until they reach the walls of the city. The bridge to the city gates will most likely be raised, and Ulfric's forces will take heavy losses under the archer fire. With both sides bloodied, this is where Balgruuf will play his card. No doubt prior to the battle, Whiterun will have requested aid from their nearby fort at Greymoor. And of course we don't see this in the game, obviously, but in a war it all seems more than likely that before an attack, a city that is defending itself will request aid or reinforcements from a nearby garrison, especially one as close as Greymoor to that of Whiterun. The second day will see the Imperial troops and the Whiterun guards sally out from the city to meet the attackers. However, the Greymoor reinforcements would then later join into the battle and flank the Stormcloaks in an envelopment, leading to a massive Stormcloak defeat. Although defeated, Ulfric and his remnant army still hold a strong, defendable location. Any Imperial momentum will be lost due to the guerrilla warfare and constant raids that Ulfric will then rage on to the Imperial troops. Small to mid-sized skirmishes will continue to harass each side, and neither side will manage to gain any single advantage. At this moment, tensions between the Thalmor and the Empire will then rise. Ulfric knows that he is in the best position to now strike to win the war. With Helgen gone, he marches his army across the Dural Mountains and pushes deep into Falkreath, but they are halted at Fort Neugrad. After another bloody battle, Neugrad will eventually fall, but as they advance, they are once again halted at Falkreath. The walls hold, and with reinforcements coming from Whiterun, Ulfric falls back to Neugrad. With the loss of Neugrad and the Thalmor threat rising, the Emperor will then come into the fold. In return for Neugrad and compensation, East Skyrim will be recognized as an independent kingdom. Meanwhile, the war will still rage on, and Neugrad will most likely be besieged by Imperial and Falkreath forces, and now with the path open due to how spread thin Ulfric's forces will be, an Imperial detachment will then enter the Rift and capture Ivarstead, due to its lack of defenses. Although reluctant, Ulfric realizes the best chance he'll get at any sort of peace is at this time. The combined West Skyrim and Imperial forces simply outnumber the Stormcloaks. The province is now split, but for how long? And this is where I come to 3 separate scenarios. Number 1. The Thalmor defeat the Empire and it's either weakened or collapses. West Skyrim, having fed troops to the Empire to help defeat the Thalmor, are simply overwhelmed by the Stormcloaks, and Skyrim is then united under Ulfric Stormcloak or another ruler under the Stormcloak banner. Now, Number 2. The Empire prevails, and with its ability to now relocate troops away from the Dominion Imperial border, they renew the fight against the Stormcloaks and simply overwhelm them with the numbers and experience, and thus Skyrim is now united. And lastly, number 3, and personally the one that I think would be the most interesting of them all. Ulfric either dies, gets a newfound look on the world, or a new leader emerges into the Stormcloak faction that has a more neutral stance on the Empire. And what I mean by this is East Skyrim and the Empire will simply renew trading relations and have now engaged in policies that will become more friendly towards one another as they see that they have common enemies. Now, looking at this, they will most likely be looking on their neighbors. And what I mean by this is that they're either going to be looking to raid Morrowind or raid Blackmarsh in terms of getting back some land, wealth, riches. Whether or not it's to conquer, I don't think they would try to do that at the time. When I discussed this actually with a few of the members of my Discord chat, we actually a lot of us agreed that Solstheim might be a likely target due to the fact that the Ebony Mine will be reopened, so it's kind of a profitable source to then reoccupy, because at one point the Nords had it until they gave it to Morrowind sometime early in the 4th era after the Red Year. Of the 3 scenarios that I have listed, I do think that the most likely of the 2 will be number 2 and number 3. I personally don't think that the Stormcloaks can simply overwhelm the Empire and the pro-Imperial forces in Skyrim. My reasoning being is that if the Dragon Crisis never happened, Ulfric Stormcloak would be dead. Tullius outmaneuvered Ulfric Stormcloak, and he outmaneuvered him quite a bit. If Whiterun is pushed in favor of joining the Empire, that makes the holds of Skyrim 5-4 in favor of the Empire. So now you're seeing a massive hold, one of the biggest in Skyrim, joining up with the Empire. That is why in scenario 3, I think their only way that they would prevail, and the most reasonable way they will prevail, is through diplomacy. So whether it's Ulfric, which I don't really think is likely that will do it, or another ruler that will come in, they would need a more neutral or passive stance on viewing the Empire because of the fact that they are going to be surrounded by the Empire on almost all sides with the exception of its border with Morrowind. But with that, what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? Which of the outcomes do you think will happen, or do you think other outcomes will happen? I'd like to talk about it in the comments or in the Discord chat. If you have any more ideas for theory videos or lore videos, let me know in the comments or in the Discord chat below. The Discord link is in the description below, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace. If you enjoyed, please like this video because it really lets me know you're enjoying this content. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. The links are right here for you to click on, and the Discord chat link is right here as well. And overall, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.